World War II, spanning from 1939 to 1945, stands as the deadliest conflict in human history. Its roots, deeply embedded in the unresolved issues from World War I, particularly the Treaty of Versailles, set the stage for global turmoil. The rise of authoritarian regimes in Germany, Italy, and Japan, fueled by economic crises and rampant nationalism, further escalated tensions. The aggressive expansion of Nazi Germany under Adolf Hitler, Italy under Benito Mussolini, and Japan's imperial ambitions in East Asia pushed the world to the brink of war. Despite diplomatic efforts to contain these powers, the world found itself poised for an inevitable conflict. On September 1, 1939, Germany invades Poland, marking the start of World War II. Employing the Blitzkrieg strategy, or lightning war, Germany overwhelms Poland with fast-moving tanks and aircraft. In response, Britain and France declare war on Germany, though their initial involvement remains limited. Following Poland's fall, the Western Front experiences a period of relative inactivity known as the Phony War. By May to June 1940, Germany launches its Western offensive through the Ardennes, bypassing the heavily fortified Maginot Line. The rapid collapse of French forces and the evacuation of British troops at Dunkirk, known as Operation Dynamo, lead to France falling under Nazi control and the establishment of the Vichy regime. From July to October 1940, Hitler attempts to conquer Britain through air supremacy, launching a bombing campaign known as the Blitz. Britain, under the steadfast leadership of Winston Churchill, resists fiercely. The Royal Air Force, or RAF, manages to defeat the German Luftwaffe in a crucial turning point, leading Hitler to indefinitely postpone his invasion plans for Britain. As the war expands, Italy joins the conflict on Germany's side, and fighting spreads to North Africa, where British and Italian forces clash. The Axis powers, comprising Germany, Italy, and Japan, coordinate their efforts across Europe, Africa, and Asia. Japan, under Emperor Hirohito and military leaders like Hideki Tojo, continues its conquest in East Asia, occupying parts of China and Southeast Asia. In June 1941, Hitler launches Operation Barbarossa, the largest military invasion in history, targeting the Soviet Union in a surprise move despite their non-aggression pact. Initially, the Germans make rapid gains, encircling millions of Soviet troops and advancing toward Moscow. The siege of Leningrad lasts nearly 900 days, resulting in immense civilian suffering and starvation. During the harsh winter of 1941-42, Soviet forces repel the German advance on Moscow, marking a turning point on the Eastern Front. Under the determined leadership of Joseph Stalin, the Soviet Union begins a fierce counteroffensive, despite facing heavy casualties and widespread destruction. On December 7, 1941, Japan launches a surprise attack on the U.S. naval base at Pearl Harbor, Hawaii, bringing the United States into the war. Over 2,400 Americans are killed, and several ships and aircraft are destroyed. President Franklin D. Roosevelt declares war on Japan the next day, and soon after, Germany and Italy declare war on the U.S. The war quickly spreads across the Pacific, with Japanese forces capturing territories including the Philippines, Guam, and Malaya. The U.S. begins its strategy of island hopping, aimed at recapturing territory and pushing toward Japan. The U.S., now fully committed, becomes the arsenal of democracy, supplying the Allies with vast quantities of weapons, supplies, and troops. The Battle of Stalingrad, from August 1942 to February 1943, marks a turning point on the Eastern Front. Soviet forces encircle and defeat the German Sixth Army. It's one of the deadliest battles in history, marking the beginning of Germany's retreat in the East. In June 1942, the Battle of Midway becomes a critical naval battle in the Pacific. U.S. forces sink 4 Japanese aircraft carriers, halting Japan's advance. This battle shifts the balance of power in the Pacific in favor of the Allies. Allied forces, led by General Dwight D. Eisenhower, launch Operation Torch in 1942, driving Axis forces out of North Africa by 1943. The defeat of German General Rommel's Afrika Korps marks a turning point in the Mediterranean. On June 6, 1944, D-Day becomes the largest amphibious invasion in history. Allied forces land on the beaches of Normandy, France. Over 156,000 Allied troops participate, establishing a crucial foothold in Nazi-occupied Europe. Intense fighting occurs at Omaha Beach where American forces face heavy resistance. After securing the Normandy beaches, the Allies push inland, liberating Paris in August 1944. By late 1944, the Allies are advancing toward Germany from the west while the Soviets push from the east. The Battle of the Bulge, which took place from December 1944 to January 1945, was Hitler's last major offensive in the west. German forces launched a surprise attack in Belgium. After initial successes, the Allies eventually repelled the Germans, hastening the end of the war in Europe. In April 1945, Soviet troops entered Berlin, engaging in brutal urban combat. Adolf Hitler committed suicide in his bunker on April 30, 1945, as Soviet forces closed in. On May 7, 1945, Germany surrendered unconditionally, marking VE Day or Victory in Europe. The US employed a strategy of island hopping and captured key islands, moving closer to Japan. The Battle of Okinawa from April to June 1945 resulted in heavy casualties on both sides. In August 1945, the US dropped atomic bombs on the Japanese cities of Hiroshima and Nagasaki, leading to unprecedented destruction. Over 200,000 people were killed in the bombings, prompting Japan's surrender. Japan formally surrendered on September 2, 1945, marking VJ Day or Victory over Japan, and the official end of World War II. World War II claimed the lives of over 70 million people, including civilians and soldiers. The visuals of liberated concentration camps illustrate the horrors of the Holocaust. The war led to the collapse of European colonial empires and the emergence of the US and the Soviet Union as superpowers. The founding of the United Nations in 1945 aimed at preventing future global conflicts. The ideological conflict between the US and the Soviet Union, known as the Cold War, would dominate global affairs for decades after the war. The war reshaped the world politically, economically, and socially. The lessons learned from the war include the need for international cooperation and peacekeeping to prevent future conflicts. The enduring legacy of World War II continues to shape the modern world, reminding us of the importance of working together for a more peaceful and just future. Thank you for watching our historical recollection of World War II, the global conflict that shaped our world. Please like, share, and subscribe to see more historical adventures.